Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Swan TV, where I am thrilled to be joined by Rebekah Hill of SaxonAir. Hi, Rebekah.
Hi, nice to see you.
Nice to see you. You having a good day today?
Good, thank you. Yeah, very good.
Perfect. To get us started then, can you tell us a bit more about you and what you do?
Yeah, so my role is wellbeing and sustainability, which is quite a varied role, to be honest, and quite a mixture. So two sides to it. The wellbeing is kind of the employee aspect, doing our events and things like that, and making sure everyone has what they need to work from home.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. The nice side of HR, I think. Not quite HR. And the sustainability is basically mapping the whole business's emissions and looking at things like offsetting, how we can reduce those emissions, and doing some, projects for the future of aviation, really.
So we've seen you guys do some absolutely amazing things over at SaxonAir to become more sustainable, obviously with you in this position as well, really pushing that agenda forward, which is fantastic. What is it that you guys are doing about this, and what plans have you got for greening the business?
So we started by mapping the company's emissions. So SaxonAir is owned by Klein, who owns the building that we work in. So it was quite a big task looking at the emissions for the whole company, which was interesting. But it's just looking at, we started small, basically changing like bulbs to LEDs and things like that, and then started looking at bigger aspects of our emissions, looking at future projects like solar panels for the building, investing in local companies actually that have electric aircraft.
Yeah.
And seeing how we can use sustainable fuel, which is available but not everywhere.
What strategies have you guys got in place to become net zero?
So we've got some short-term goals and strategies in place. So actually one of the things that we've introduced just recently is a department carbon budgets. So yeah, so it's basically putting the emphasis on everybody as an individual to look at their own emissions. So things like traveling to work, and just what everyone can do individually to reduce those emissions, just for themselves and for the company, really. Also looking at investing in solar. So we've got a couple of different options which we're looking at hopefully implementing soon.
Yeah.
Like I said, using sustainable fuel as much as possible for the aircraft, still offsetting for all of our flights, which is the major thing at the moment. And then longer term goals, investing in the infrastructure to be available at our facility, so that if there are, the future of electric aircraft and hydrogen or whatever that might be, that hopefully we're ready for that.
So you've already mentioned about sustainable aviation fuel, you've mentioned about electric aircrafts, but what are your thoughts about, sustainable travel, specifically in aviation? What does the future look like?
It's a combination at the moment between hydrogen and electric aircraft. So we've been involved in the Department for Transport. They've had a programme on specifically for aviation called ZEFI. And so they're looking at infrastructure and things like that, because it's looking at the bigger picture, really. So how do people maintain these new aircraft, and how can they fly into different airports and all of that?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just trying to get involved in all of those bigger conversations, really. And like I said, work with our local companies that we know that are already doing it, and just see how we can be involved in that, to be honest.
Yeah. And then specifically onto our last question, which is a lovely one. Can you tell us more about your SaxonAir pollinator garden, which sounds fascinating, and what benefits this has got for the environment?
So we've I say recently, I think it was about a year ago, we decided to test having a couple of beehives next to our airfield.
Amazing.
Yeah, so it's a local company actually, Centuria.
Okay.
And you can basically be a sponsor of some beehives, so you can have them at your facility, or they can look after them in their apiary, and they have monitoring technology in them, so you can look at the humidity and gases in the air and watch there's a live camera on the bees, so have that on our website as well. So yeah, it's looking at how we can improve the local environment. So having the bees there improves like biodiversity in the area. It's just nice that we can get honey as well.
Yeah.
An added benefit. Yeah,
I will definitely be checking out your website to watch the live stream of the bees. I think that's awesome. Really, really
it's really interesting.
yeah, no, that's brilliant. Thank you so much for your time today, Rebekah. Really, really love talking to you and hearing about the amazing things you and the SaxonAir team are doing for sustainability, well-being and the environment. So thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you too.